Mike, say what's up.
Mike. Oh, Mike Colt, right?
Cold or something like that.
Don't. You got it?
Luke Cage. I hope I got him. I don't know. I wasn't even looking through the viewer. But yeah, Luke Cage passing through the Marriott.
Wearing that yellow.
Rocking the yellow. Black as hell. But it's all good. Black is beautiful, baby. So that was Luke Cage actor Mike Colter, whose name me and Adam both butchered, but he was passing through the Marriott there. I'll get back into this footage shortly. I'm actually double back to after the panel, after the Hasbro panel, some footage from after the Hasbro panel. But yeah, it was cool to see him passing through. Apparently he was there on a panel for a show called Evil, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to look it up and really get the details to that. But he definitely waved and acknowledged that the fans was calling out to him, so that was cool. And real quick, the last vlog that I put up was the walkthrough from the walkthrough at Mezco with Fabio. So just a little insight into that. Once again this year, Mezco didn't have an actual representative there that you could speak to and do a walkthrough with and ask any questions. I didn't even see Kingpin. I didn't see Drake there either. So I don't know, maybe they're making some internal changes. I'm not really sure what they're going to do as far as like a media rep or somebody to actually interact with the fans and with the media. So me and Fabio just walked through and he did his 1-2 and that was cool. Dr. Doom, it's pretty great. See a lot of new parts. He's larger than the old Dr. Doom for sure. The head sculpt looks good. Everything here looks pretty good. X-Men, Hulk, She-Hulk, Wolverine looks real good, man. So just giving you a little more insight into how these things work at Comic-Con as it relates to the press or the media. Like I mentioned in vlog 002, I believe it was, after the panel is concluded, they direct everyone back down to the showroom floor where they put out some of the things that they unveiled in the panel, basically. And pretty much immediately after that, a lot of that stuff goes up for pre-order and on all the various websites. So we saw that happen, and then not long after that, they send out the packages, the press release to the press that has all of the official images here. So that's what you see here, the official Hasbro image of Dr. Doom. That's super photoshopped. But listen, I thought Dr. Doom looked really, really good in person. I'm excited to get this guy. I'm not sure exactly how he's going to be released yet. I was also happy that the panel was before my interview. So a lot of the questions that I had, I got to kind of X off the list because of what they already showed here. So I got to regroup and recalibrate, sit down, and really take some time to flesh out my questions and everything for the interview. So interview won't be in this video, but it'll be in the very next video. I'm just going to take some time here to go through some of the things that I noticed and some of the things I liked or disliked about what was revealed. But I didn't really have any issues with Doom and with the way he looked. I think this is going to be one that people are going to really gravitate towards. It's a character that everybody's been trying to get for quite some time, a new updated Doom. And hopefully they'll have some sort of variant or something where we can do Doom bots. I mean, you could just buy doubles of this regular Doom, but we'll see what happens if they do something similar to how they did with the Doom bots during the Toy Biz days. Nate Gray, X-Man, not a character I really ever cared about, except when I was a kid. For whatever reason, I really liked the 90s X-Men toy X-Man Nate Gray. I don't know why, as a kid, I really liked that figure, but I don't really care about this guy, especially because it's on one of the older bucks here. But it is a character that we never received in the Marvel Legends line, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens and which Build-A-Figure part he comes with and which wave to really determine whether or not I'll be picking him up. She-Hulk, I think, looked interesting, or Hulk, as they were calling her. This was directly from the pages of some Hulk comic book, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they flashed up on on the screen during the panel. This figure was interesting because they are trying some new things with the articulation here. It is a bigger figure, so there's really no reason why it shouldn't have the added articulation that the males have, because technically she has the stature of one of the male figures, but not really double jointed elbows according to Dwight, but there was some sort of swivel that gives the appearance that the elbows were double jointed. When they were setting this figure up in the case, you could tell that it was still put together with like pins or something like that, because one of the arms had came out, but it looks like the articulation is something kind of new as far as the bend of the elbow goes. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I just really wish they would have given us a more classic sort of look for She-Hulk and just updated that figure, because the one that came in the A-Force box set was just hot garbage. Morph here looked pretty cool. Not really the design that I think a lot of people wanted. In fact, shout out to Ryan. He had asked me to ask about the Morph figure and if we might get a 90s cartoon Morph head packed in with this guy, and then you might be able to swap that head onto the upcoming Cyclops, which I'll get into shortly. And I didn't get to that question on my list. I had it all mapped out. In fact, I think I'm going to show my full list of questions in the interview vid. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I didn't get to ask them, so I don't know for certain. But if they did pack in an additional Morph head, that would definitely add some value to this figure for me.
I've been begging for 4 years.
She looks amazing.
Still sign that to him.
Are we going to see Strong Guy this week?
No. Strong Guy's. You're welcome. Strong Guy's still installed. He won't be ready for quite a while. Like this? I appreciate you guys listening to the video. Yeah.
Shang-Chi, straight fire. I really like the way this guy looked. This is probably going to be one of the best figures next year. We'll see what happens when the movie drops and what other characters we get from that corner of the Marvel Universe. As we already know, the Mandarin's going to be the main antagonist in his movie, so that should be very interesting. I did talk about this guy a little bit in my interview, so stay tuned for that. This AOA Wolverine looked really good. The head sculpt in particular looked really good. I talked about that in the interview. I don't know how I feel about the AOA characters that I'm doing a full wave. They talked about that during the panel, that they were going to do like a full-on wave and maybe go real deep into AOA. Not a storyline that I really care about too much. And you know what it is, or what it was? I never really liked the artwork for AOA, so that kind of took me out of it. Vulture looked very good. Looks like it's going to be a great improvement on the Toy Biz version, which still holds up as a very nice looking figure. Just leaves a bit to be desired in the articulation department, but I'm really excited to get this guy, and hopefully we'll be completing a classic Sinister Six in 2020. I don't even want to talk about these Spider-Man figures. These are the skins nobody asked for, so bye. Was this your posing?
This was not my posing.
All right. 1/6 shooter, my man T right here.
Don't be criticizing the posing.
But this looks good. It looks like it's just scaled down from the 12-inch version with the little battle damage parts. His hair poking out, the bone claws.
It feels different though.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
This Jean Grey, I'm in love with this Jean Grey over here, man. She looks good, man. She looks real good.
I like that ponytail.
I'll let you know.
Foosh Bros.
Capture for me.
She looks great. And I was actually just posing her a little bit, so this is not a proto. This is ready.
Now you can take all the individual
Squirrel
shots
Girl,
of the camera.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is Frank Castle. This is all stuff that they showed. This is really cool. The little squirrel props. And this is vintage wave stuff that's dropping now. I'm really impressed by this Shang-Chi though, man. About a week before San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro dropped some images of a recreation of Jim Lee #1 with the Marvel Legends figures, and conspicuously in that photo was a picture of Jean Grey. We knew that we were supposed to get a Jean Grey Wolverine and Cyclops 3-pack. We just weren't sure what versions of those figures and how they were going to look, what was going to be packed in. And so they unveiled that at the panel, and to everybody's surprise, they had Cyclops and the with the leather jacket. But it looks like Hasbro did what they do a lot in borrowing from some customizers out there. So I think my man Punker Mike was the first person to do this swap. And it looks like they did the same exact thing. It looks like it's the jacket from the Old Man Logan.
In this video, I'm going to show you the methods that I use to crack open a Marvel Legends torso. And I'm going to also show you how you can take the Old Man Logan arms and put them on the Cyclops body so you can have a Scott Summers rocking the jacket. So before we get started, just wanted to give a fatty shout out to John Papa Sergio and Dave BX. They're the ones who put me onto this mod. So I was planning on trying to hunt down a jacket to put on my second Cyclops, give it that kind of 90s animated series feel. And then I came across this mod, and it was exactly what I was looking for. So thanks, bros.
Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm going to crack these two torsos.
And Punker Mike had a tutorial up on his channel that got a lot of views. So Hasbro does that often. They definitely are out there lurking and looking and borrowing. Either way, this pack looks very good. And I went out on a limb. This was one of those things that went up for pre-order immediately. And I pre-ordered it on GameStop's website because it looked like they had it in stock. But then they changed the release date to like September or something like that. So I've got it pre-ordered, but I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon. And shout out to my man Pendelos Muertos for that funny little gift there with Wolverine and Cyclops.
We stepped out of the con. We a few blocks away from the con in Whiskey House. Whole gang is here. Aaron, say what's up.
What's up? How's it going?
All right. Rich. KJ, Smash Lab.
This is vodka.
So I was really trying to get some food, but I guess we just gonna drink ourselves to death now, and I'll talk to y'all later.
So I actually did not go to drink myself to death. I actually didn't drink that much during this trip. I only drank one night. I decided to leave the bar because I just wanted some peace and quiet actually. And I left with Trevor, 1-6 shooter, and we walked over to another place that was not a bar like that. I mean, it was a bar, but it was more quiet and out of the way. And we sat there with Yasuke 79 and Barrel Morado, who I met for the first time this year. I think I met Yasuke for the first time this year. Definitely Barrel Morado, because I don't think I was fucking with him before now, because if I remember correctly, he was like part of the ATA Dreadnoughts crew, but from what I understand, they kind of like disbanded after some time or whatever. Fuck those dudes. But Barrel Morado actually ended up being really cool and really laid back, and we all chopped it up there. But you know, that's the shit about meeting people in person and you know, getting to chop it up face to face with people. You know, some people you just won't hit it off with, but 99% of my interactions with people from within the community have been positive. So that was cool to sit there and chop it up with them. So I think I'm gonna cap this episode right here, and I think the next episode will be my interview with Hasbro. Shout out to Toy Arc, whose pictures we used in the walkthrough with Mezco, because I had lost my pictures. That was my video, but I used Toy Arc's pictures, who I actually met in person for the first time last year. And yeah, I got quite a bit more footage, interview with Stefan from NECA, and some other things, so stay tuned.
That's crispy.